What's going on, everyone? It's Burton with Lost in the Dark podcast, and we are out here doing our first ever Lost in the Dark paranormal investigation. We are out here tonight just outside of, a little bit ways outside of Flint, Michigan, at a location a friend of mine was renting and had to move out because of the activity. We don't really know what to call this yet. Dark hauntings, something, I don't know. But anyway, here's the location we will be at this evening. This is it, right here. And we are out here in the middle of absolute nowhere. There have been reportings of strange noises, unusual activity, things falling off shelves, things going off on their own, and voices coming through Bluetooth speakers and things like that. So we'll be here all night investigating, filming as much as we can to see what we can find. Here we go. Here we go, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. And we got, this is crazy right now. So Josh and I are here by ourselves, sitting alone in a potentially haunted house. We are, and all the podcasts that I've ever listened to, I don't think I've ever heard one recorded in a potentially haunted house.
Oh, no.
Ever. So this could be wild. And anything, so this is we're hearing all this live in our headphones right now. So if anything comes through this, we'll hear it right away. And I even set up a third microphone over there. So
if you feel like coming in, spirits, and sitting down at the mic, come to the table.
Come on down.
Let's do this.
We got a microphone set up and ready for you. So yeah, let's do this. So yeah, this is it. This is crazy. We are out here. We are somewhere like roughly northeast-ish somewhere of Flint. That's about where we are. We're on like a 3-acre piece of property. It's a farmhouse that was built in, what do you say, like 1837? 1839. 1939. And he said in some research that he did, when I keep saying he, my buddy Ben, turned the clock back to October, and my buddy, I see my buddy Ben, he tells me he's about to rent this house, and he's all excited about it. And so I see him again in December, and I ask him about it. He's like, oh, I moved the fuck out of there. It's fucking haunted. And this is not a guy who is usually into that sort of thing or even believes in ghosts. So it kind of threw me when I heard him say that. And so I was like, well, you should let us come check it out. So here we are. And fucking, yeah, he's had a number. I wish he was still here to be on with us tonight, but he's had a number of experiences here so far. Obviously to the point where he didn't want to live here anymore.
After a brief time.
Yeah, after like a month.
Yep.
He had his kid said that there's like monsters in the basement and somebody here that wanted to hurt him. And they saw, they heard voices coming over a Bluetooth speaker one night. One night Ben felt like something was watching him to the point where he like didn't even want to move. He also said that it sounded like someone was hitting the basement door with a sledgehammer one night, like banging on it hard as fuck. And the basement is weird as shit.
It's just the traditional Michigan basement. The foundation was made back with stone and mortar.
Okay.
So
I guess
old school.
Old as fuck.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen
cellar style
it like that. And it's like it looks like someone knocked down a hole in one of the walls and it opens up to this massive area, and there's other areas within the massive area, and it's
just crawl spaces underneath new additions to the house.
Yeah.
And such.
Yeah. Fucking creepy though.
It is creepy, but then there's also a weird room on the back of the house that has only an entrance to it from outside the house on the back of the house, and then through the basement, I guess there's a room where you can come up some stairs into the room on the back of the house. but everything appears to be locked to it, and we wonder what's in there. You got to.
Yeah, there's not
In these kinds of situations.
a lot of entrances to it. It's very bizarre, for sure. So
Sure it is.
far, let's see here. What time is it?
9 or
It's
something.
8:15 right now.
Okay.
So we'll still be here much longer. We've been here since
About 6.
right around 6ish, I think, maybe a little earlier. And yeah, not really much is going on yet. We had a couple little things. Sounded like a couple times like some things might have been moving around or something, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically we got all this podcast equipment because my thinking of it is ultimately all this stuff is a giant voice recorder, and it's super sensitive with good microphones. So why not give doing a podcast in a potentially haunted location a try?
Why not?
Right.
You will hear the occasional car go by.
Yeah, we are right on a road, out in the fucking middle of nowhere. But yeah, so what would you say, Josh? Of all the, because we've talked about the places we've gone before, some of the haunted locations. What would you say is like the craziest thing you've seen from any of that yet?
From what we've done together?
What we've done together and on your own. If they're different, I'd say answer both.
I don't know. I feel like the most activity we've ever experienced was at the old Dundee Mill. I think that night, I mean, that was one of our first, second, and honestly, like I think if we would have had the equipment we have now on that night, we would have caught a lot more evidence than what we did, because there was a lot going on that night. And I think we also came more prepared with like an actual team, so we had people in all the different areas all night long to capture anything that was going to happen.
Yeah, whereas right now it's literally just you and me alone in a house.
Yeah. So it makes it a little more difficult to capture some stuff, especially since, I mean, if you're trying to use equipment, it's hard to use more than one piece of equipment at a time. You know what I mean? But by myself, man, I'd have to say that cemetery up there, Orleans Cemetery. That experience is probably the craziest. And I guess like to tell people about that experience, it was I had some friends who liked to drive around to different cemeteries with voice recorders and cameras, take pictures, and do EVP sessions. And so one night we figured we'd give it a shot and go with them. So we went out to this old cemetery, Orleans Cemetery, and the way the cemetery was set up is the main road goes down the middle of the down the middle of the cemetery, but then the cemetery is a circle with that main road dissecting it. So we pulled into the first side of the cemetery, and I was driving, and I was facing into the middle of the cemetery, and we stopped the car, had the windows down on either side. Me and the passenger were each snapping pictures with a digital camera out each side of the van. So I snap out the driver's side, they'd snap out the passenger side. My first picture, the air ignited. I don't even know how to explain it. Like the air, it lit up. Like there was so much, like something in the air was sparkling to the extent of like I'd never ever seen before. Like the air just lit right up. And
whenever the flash on the camera.
Yep.
Okay.
On the opposite side of the van, there was absolutely nothing. They would snap a picture, and they'd see grass and headstones and an open field and nothing. Me, I was getting so many, I don't know, orbs or whatever you want to call them, that you could only see maybe 15, 20 feet into the picture, you know what I mean? And then it was just clouded out by orbs.
Yeah.
So we'd snap a picture, roll 10 feet, stop, snap a picture, roll another 10 feet, stop, snap a picture. And on about the fourth picture, I didn't even want to look. When I would just pull up, snap the picture. I kept my other hand on the wheel. Let's just get this over with. That fourth picture, everybody in the van gasped, and out of the corner of my eye, I caught what appeared to be some kind of like smoke or something coming in through my window. And when the flash went off, you could see the light. You could watch the light travel through it where the light stopped and started. And then, like, my dog started going nuts. Like, I just threw the camera down as soon as this happened and just hit the gas and got the hell out of there. And this is like a 10-minute drive to the nearest gas station of civilization. And the whole time, I just rolled the window up and I wouldn't even look out the window. I just kept it moving. Got to the gas station, got out of the car. Everybody was flipping out, looking at the pictures. And in the picture that I took, there was some kind of smoke coming in through the window that literally, in the picture, blocked out everything behind it. And I'm talking everything. You could barely see the frame of the window of my car, and you could barely see the rear view mirror that was right there. But you could see it, but barely. And then just like this thick, like, swirl of smoke that I'd never seen anything like it before in my life. And after that, I think we went to a couple other. I rode in the back, and that just took it out of me. I didn't want to even deal with any of that after that. Like,
that's fucking crazy.
Cause and honestly, we had been back to that cemetery since then and never experienced anything like that. So
that's crazy.
That took the cake.
Fuck.
Aside from that, the experiences at Randolph County Infirmary or whatever they called it, like, we had experiences. They were minimal. We caught EVPs. We seen some orbs. Like, caught that real interesting orb on the camcorder with the freaking full spectrum light.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, that place to me just, I don't know, it felt like how this place feels. You know what I mean? I've oddly comfortable.
I've talked about it a lot before, about how we how you and I were literally in the most stereotypical possible terrifying haunted location. Like, we were in a place, a former abandoned insane asylum, paint's peeling off the walls, there's wheelchairs left in random rooms, and you and I sat in this fucking chasm of an attic, this giant attic, completely alone, in dark, so dark you cannot see the hand in front of your face, during a fucking thunderstorm. So winds howling, lightning, thunder, literally, like, if there was ever a time to be in a location and be scared, that was gonna be it.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it felt you're right, it felt oddly comfortable. This place that we're in right now, I don't feel uncomfortable, but I don't feel the same way I felt at Randolph. Like, at Randolph, I literally felt like I was, like, at the park or at home. Like, literally nothing different at all. This place feels a little different, but nothing quite. I did feel weird when we got here.
I've spent a lot of time in my life in places like this.
Yeah.
Like, I've had a lot of friends who've lived in houses like this.
Okay.
Like, old farmhouses. So to me, this is just kind of typical. You know what I mean? But that, like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I've been in and out of haunted houses my whole life and just never paid attention.
That's very possible. And it is also good to note that we are, like, less than a half a football field away from a graveyard.
Yep.
Looks like a pretty old one too. Probably should have went there. But well.
Hey.
Yeah. What? Camera went off?
Yeah.
Oh shit. That's weird. Maybe this camera just does that.
I think it said low battery.
Oh. Yeah, it's a shitty camera. I'm not gonna lie. Got it for cheap on Amazon, this one at least. The other ones are pretty good, but let's see what we got. So we have a camera, our IR camera set up here, recording a little bit while we... Yeah, it is low battery. Damn it.
Oh, well.
While we record this podcast to see if it would catch anything going on behind us in the dark, because we're literally doing this podcast in the pitch dark right now. The only light is from the mixer and the computer screen. Literally getting lost in the dark here, people. So, I don't know. I'd say it's hard for me to pick one craziest thing that's ever happened. That's for sure. But one of them, and I guess it's kind of relevant because it's out here. One time, and this is also, so I'm loosely familiar with the area that we're in right now because back in the day, these are some of the back roads that Preston and I would go out and find and wait till night and drive down them and fucking, go dogman hunting. And this is dogman country out here. And so I'm kind of loosely familiar with some of this area. And one time, this would have had to have been 2008 or 9. So 10 or 11 years ago. I'm with Preston and 1, 2, 3, 4 other people. Me, Preston, 4 of our friends, so 6 of us. We all pile into my 5-seater car because I remember one person had to sit on other people's laps. And we go to this graveyard that's somewhere out here. And it's like a real long graveyard. It's just set up like a real long rectangle. And you enter at one end and you can walk all the way around and then go back to you can park your car at the one end and then go walk around or whatever. So we did that. We parked the car. We get out. We start walking through, and also, so like you're walking through the length of it. To the left is a road. Right on the other side of the road is a church, and to your right is just cornfield. So we're walking up towards like the other end of it, and like we get like halfway into it, and up ahead by one of the trees, I see something move. And I like stopped everybody. I'm like, is there a person over there or something? And we're all staring at the fucking tree. And then like you see, it's like a lump like down close to the ground. And then you see something stand up. And we're all like, what the fuck? So we start like backing up. And then we heard a bunch of like rustling in the cornfield. And, so we started like walking back to the fucking car quicker, and the quicker we walked, the faster the rustling in the cornfield was going. So it was something following us, and we all ended up running back to the fucking car. We get back to the car. One of the car doors is open. We definitely closed them all. There was nothing missing, nothing was fucked up or anything, but the car door was open, and we were all freaked out. So we just got in it and took off. So that might have been a little dog man. We don't know. We don't know what that was. That was a pretty crazy one. Shit, man. Couple times. For me, besides the mill, because you're right, that place we saw lights coming on and off on their own in that place. We had the glow stick move on its own. We had, oh shit, that's where the fucking Ovilus freaked me out. To this day, of every investigation we've ever been on, that is what gave me more goosebumps than anything else. Is when I'm on the other side of the room, alone. Nobody can see me. Nobody knows what the fuck I'm doing. And I start trying to play a broken piano. And the Ovilus on the other side of the room just says broken. Like that gives me chills to this day. I don't know why. That was crazy. But besides the mill, the other one that really gets me is Fort Wayne, because every time I've been there, I've had an experience. The first time, I literally watched a can of Diet Coke empty lift up off of a table and get placed into an open drawer underneath it. And then the last time we were there, I was holding something, some kind of meter, and every single time I asked it a question, it went crazy. And all my questions were like, do you want us to leave? And it started going nuts. Do you not like us here? It started going nuts. And everybody else was asking questions and it wouldn't do shit. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, my favorite experience from that Fort Wayne was when we were in the thick gun bunkers or whatever you want to call
That's
them.
what I'm talking about. That's where we were.
All the cold spots that you could follow around there. Those are what I liked. You could hold your hand out and stick it into like this cold air that's like in the middle of the room, and then the cold air would just move to another place. And this is middle of the summer. I mean, it
was hot.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
It was hot
We were
out.
sweating. But then all of a sudden, you would just feel like, and it wasn't a breeze. It wasn't like the air was moving fast or any. Sometimes it wasn't moving at all and just be cold.
And as a matter of fact, where we were, there was nowhere for air to move.
Yeah.
There was nowhere. We were in a concrete sealed off room.
Yeah.
Like there was no air coming in there. It smelled like a basement. Like it smelled musky. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of air movement in there. So for there to be a cold spot just moving around, that's fucking weird.
That had soldiers' names scratched into the wall from 1830.
Yeah. Fucking insane. That place is up. That's a good one. That's a good one for sure. Yeah, man. We've definitely had some good ones.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But anybody that you talk to who does this kind of stuff is going to tell you you're going to get way more duds than suds.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Fuck yes. Fuck yes.
So for us to come out here and, I mean, yeah, we had high hopes, but at the same time, I don't know. I
mean, it was a very unique opportunity. It's very rare that we get an opportunity to do like somebody's house like this. Like,
yeah.
This is very new for us. But yeah, the more we sit here and talk, the kind of more normal this place feels.
Yeah, not even gonna lie. Like when we first got here for like that first 45 minutes, maybe hour, like it was a little active.
Yeah.
But I can't even say for certain that it was activity that we were hearing. You know what I mean?
Can't say for certain, but I definitely.
I feel like when we got here, he had just turned the furnace on, like turned the heat back up.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So the house was warming up. Probably had some noises going on because it was warming back up, and
yeah.
But I really wish him and his woman would have hung out, because I feel like sometimes, you know, people that it's used to bring it out. And
I mean, I think sometimes they're just people that bring it out in general. Maybe one of them.
Yeah.
They do, you know. Yeah, it would have been cool if he had been able to chill and actually be on the podcast. Maybe I'll fucking call him and like record the phone call or something.
Yeah.
And add it into this podcast or something so people can hear him tell the stories.
Yeah.
I could probably do that. But yeah, it's definitely a fucking strangely built house.
No, it's had a lot added onto it over the years.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like it does feel like it's a puzzle that keeps being added to.
You could tell by the way the buildings are placed on the property that this used to be a big farm.
Yeah.
You can just tell from it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like the outbuildings that it has and the style that the outbuildings are built in.
I really wish we had checked out that graveyard now. Because if most of those graves are from around the time this house was built, then I bet you somebody that lived here is over there.
Maybe. Yeah, you never know. It's a tough one.
Because if this was a big farm, maybe had a couple families on it or something over, you know, Maybe that's what all that is. It's just like the family's little plot.
Maybe, but that would look like a pretty big cemetery.
But yeah, it did. It did have a lot of gravestones, and it. He did say this area was once used for like experimental drilling or some shit.
He said something like that, but
So, yeah, that's weird.
yeah. Well, hey.
And that. Damn it! I forgot to ask him too about the. He said he saw a little girl or something. I heard one or something. Yeah, he said he heard like a little girl playing on the stairwell or something like that one day.
Huh.
Weird.
Yeah. I wish that we had pictures of what the original house looked like.
Before all the additions?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So
Just to know when we're in the original part and when we're not.
I just hate how uneven all the floors are.
Very uneven. Like
Gives you like that mad funhouse sensation where you're just like always off balance.
yeah, exactly. Like there's no. If you set a marble on the floor, it's gonna roll all over the place.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, it is weird. But so far, I mean, yeah, you're right. You know, we had a couple noises in the beginning. Could have just been the house stretching, but there's heat in it and body heat, and the furnace is on, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, supposedly nobody been in here for 2 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we're sitting here fucking. We haven't had a door open, a light go on or off. We did have the flashlight come on.
Yeah.
On its own. That was a little strange. But, you know, who knows? Interesting, though.
Yeah.
Definitely. See, that's the thing is, like, he said, oh, yeah. He said he only spent one night here by himself, but I wonder how many nights total he spent here.
Well, he said he was here for what? Almost 2 months? It was over a month.
Okay.
But I don't know if it was 2 months. So.
I bet you stuff.
I didn't know that he had, like, his girlfriend with him here.
Yeah. His girl.
Because every time he talked about it, he just made it sound like it was him and his son.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
I don't know if I think she has her own place too.
Right.
So I don't know if she lived here like he did, you know.
Right, but I mean, like, every story, like when he told the story of the Bluetooth speaker thing.
Oh yeah, he didn't really mention that she was in it.
He didn't really mention that she was the one who heard it at first. So, but yeah.
I don't know.
It's just dead quiet in here.
Right now it is.
So quiet. And I feel like put it this way, it's quiet enough that we sat here and listened to a mouse make a nest in the oven.
Yes, we did.
And you could hear it clear as day. Yeah. Like, I knew exactly what the mouse was doing while I sat at the table and just listened. So if anything was to happen in this house, we're probably going to hear it. I mean, it's just that quiet here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't really feel like it'd be pretty hard to sneak around this house with how much just noise it makes when you walk around.
But him and his girlfriend were both visibly uncomfortable being here.
Yes, absolutely they were.
So,
like, they did not want to spend very much time in this house.
Nope. We were trying to get him to hang out for a little bit. Because, like, I still have that little bit of a belief that sometimes, in certain circumstances, they can bring it out.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree. I think you're right. And, you know, we also don't, we don't really have equipment to, like, trigger anything or anything. You know what I mean? I don't even know really what that would be. Other than like a trigger object, but then we'd have to figure out.
Have you seen those devices that, what are they called, EMF pump or whatever?
Oh yeah. Those
would be interesting.
Kind of pump some of it into the air.
Kind of just creates something for like an energy field for spirits to draw from.
Yeah, and we fucking walked around this whole house with this. with this Gauss meter, which measures electromagnetic fields. Literally, I spent probably a good 25 minutes, 30 minutes earlier just walking into every room everywhere in this house with this thing, and it never went above a 2. So if at any point tonight I'm holding this thing and
when
it
he
does
says it
go
never
off,
went above, it kind of never went below it either.
yeah,
It was just a baseline.
yeah, absolutely. It never dropped down to like 1 or 0. That's true. Just kind of stays at 2. And it's even like.
But if you read the back of that, that's when you hold it, it's giving you a reading from like 0.1 to 1. So technically that's at a 0.2.
Oh, okay.
Like an ambient.
Okay.
So, but that just means it's sensitive enough that, you know, something, if anything would have came around it, it would have fucking spiked it.
Oh, yeah. And like I held it up to the fridge, to the fucking computers and the mixer here and like everything, and nothing made it go off. So if anything does make it go off tonight, I can't explain it. Yeah. Weird.
Well, yeah.
He's right though. Ben's right. Shit. I'll get the name. He mentioned like what did he say? There's like a haunted hotel around here or some shit.
Something like that.
You could go stay at.
Like an old house in like the old town area.
You know
that you can stay the night in.
This area is a weird little area. He's not wrong about that. Like whenever me and Preston would get lost out here, it'd be you know. It was always fucking. You always could put it that way. Like a lot of places, like we would just end up going back to so many times. We knew the roads so well, but out here we would always like end up finding one road we'd never been on before, and we could go down it, and like totally get turned around. And keep in mind this is fucking flip phone area. We didn't have no goddamn Google Maps like on our phones. We were literally using a paper map in the car to do when we got lost enough to figure out our way back. And yeah, like there was one time Preston tells a story, and there is a witness to this. Somebody else was there and had the same experience, where they were driving around out here one night and they pulled the car over to the side of the road to get out and take a pee. Well, fucking, they said like far as fuck away you could hear what sounded like dogs or something, and then like they're standing there for another second, and then literally like 3 seconds later, same like massive. Apparently, it sounded like a massive fucking dog, like 20 yards away from him. It's like there's no fucking way it could have gotten from as far away from when I first heard it to there that fast, and like it freaked them out. So they got in the car and took off. But they said it literally sounded like a fucking Rottweiler crossed with a bear on steroids. It was like they were like we could feel it in our bones. Whenever we heard it like growl. So yeah, there's shit out here. I think this is a weird little area.
Yeah, I don't come out this area too often.
No reason to. There's nothing out here.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah. You've never had any paranormal experiences in your house, have you?
No.
Your current house. What about in any of your like parents' houses that you lived in growing up? Or do they only ever live in that one?
No. Lived in a trailer.
Oh no, yeah, you guys lived
growing up.
Yeah, other places, yeah.
Nothing really ever there. And then nothing in the house.
Okay.
And then my house now. No, I mean, I've seen orbs and stuff, but I've never really had any crazy stuff happen or anything.
Yeah.
The cats see it just like I see it, so.
At my parents' old house, the first house in East Lansing, there were only 2 times where I thought something happened, and it was one time. Now there's this story. I'm being totally honest. So this is something that was in my head already. And when this happened, I would have been 11, 12 years old. We had not lived in the new house very long, just a couple years maybe, since moving up here from Waterford. And there was this old story, like, because when I grew up on Ghostbusters, Ghosts, Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of the Dark, Tales from the Crypt, all this shit. I've been into this shit since I was literally like in the kids section. When my mom would take me to the library, I'd go to the kids section and find the books about Loch Ness Monster and ghosts. Like, it's been that long. So I always loved when my family members would tell me their ghost stories, and my grandma, my mom's side, told me this one that always stuck with me. It was fucking back when my grandpa was working. He'd work till like 2, 3 a.m. at the GM factory. And sometimes grandma would be up when he'd get home and stuff. One night she's sitting up like reading a book in her room, and she hears like footsteps coming down the hallway. And she said it's literally like, was that you? Did you do that?
No.
You didn't do that?
No.
Where is it?
It's right here.
Holy shit. We have that on the podcast.
Hell yeah.
It went off on its own just now. So yeah, my grandma is sitting in the room.
You know that red light on it like that?
Are you fucking serious right now?
I did not.
It's sitting down. Yeah, the red light comes on when you press the button. It's jumping on its own though.
No, the red light's just sitting on now though. You notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that, and then that's when I picked it up and like I hit the button on it to see if it was doing anything, and it wasn't.
And it's staying right now. It's staying on 0 too.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That was interesting.
That was me holding it down real quick just to see. That was interesting.
Because
Yeah.
nothing touched it and it went off
Nothing.
twice.
It was literally sitting in between us. Nothing. Did you hear that?
Oh yeah.
We just heard like it sounded like something tinging a piece of glass or something.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
That is weird.
Huh.
Just remember though, there is Mr. Mouse in the kitchen.
There is a mouse in the kitchen. It could have been a mouse. So. Huh. Okay.
Oh.
So anyway, my grandma tells the story of hearing footsteps coming down the hallway, and they were like boots hitting a wooden floor kind of footsteps, and she'd be like, and then they'd stop, and she'd call out my grandpa's name. She'd be like, Jim, is that you? There'd be no response, and then she'd hear more footsteps, and that went on, and it said she said she was so scared that there was a gun in the top drawer of the dresser right next to her, and she was too scared to even reach over and grab it. And then like half hour passed by, and then my grandpa got home, and fucking she told him about it, and that was pretty much it. And then so fast forward to 2001, I'm in my parents' first East Lansing house. I'm in my upstairs room before I moved down to the basement, and the upstairs of this house is carpeted. My bedroom, like you come up the stairs, my bedroom's the first one on the right. Take another 3 steps forward, there's a bathroom on the right. Keep going straight, you walk into my sister's room. Take a left, you walk into my parents' room. We're all up there. And again, it's carpeted. I'm sitting in my room, and I hear footsteps in the hallway. And again, it is boots hitting a wooden floor like in a cowboy saloon footsteps on a carpet.
Yeah.
And when I heard that shit, I was literally so scared I couldn't move. And I waited until I stopped hearing it for a while, and I jumped up and ran to my parents' room. Like, it was fucking... that was absolutely terrifying. And then the only other thing that ever happened in that house, and that was it. That was literally it until years and years later. And this didn't freak me out as much in the moment, but... years and years later, after I'd moved down to the basement, I was in high school because I was up literally before I'd come downstairs after taking a shower completely in the dark because the sun wasn't even up yet. And I go into my room and there's one light on in the basement, and it's like on the basement kind of wraps in an L shape around my room, and that was a weird noise.
I don't know what the hell that noise was, but I heard it.
It's like a squeaky noise.
Yeah.
And so on like the other side of one of my walls is the only light on that's in the basement. When I'm in my room, I can't see that light, but there's a mirror on another far wall which that light reflects off of and bounces into my like a beam of light into my room on the wall. And I'm standing in my room still in the dark because in the morning back in high school I never turned on lights. Like I would literally wake up, do everything I needed to do, and walk to the bus stop in the dark. I didn't want to see light until I got to school because I was so tired. So I'm standing in my room getting dressed in the dark, and I look up at the beam of light, and I see something move by it, like block it out for a second. I was like, huh, that's weird. So I get dressed, and then I was like, I'm going to check this out. I run an experiment to see where it would have been blocked, how it could have been blocked like that. And keep in mind, I did have 3 cats. The only spot where that light could have been blocked by that was in the middle of the floor where there was nothing around it, and it had to have been something at least my height. Nothing shorter. So it couldn't have been a cat because there was nothing for a cat to be on. I have no idea what it was, but I saw something block out that shadow, and when I tested it, it had to have been something my height, and there was nothing there for anything to stand on. So, yeah, but that was it. Those are the only 2 things that ever happened in that house.
When that went off,
yeah,
it got real cold over here.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay. So things might be starting to pick up here a little bit at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
We're hearing some weird squeaking noises.
The light for the basement's still on.
The light for the basement and the stairwell and the front laundry room. And what's even more interesting is keep in mind everything that we're hearing is being picked up through these microphones.
Oh
yeah. Like if I were to mute our microphones right now, we wouldn't be able to hear shit happening around us.
On.
Go for it.
As long as that red light's on, I feel like it's on.
Yeah.
That was
but yeah, these are noise canceling headphones, so we can't hear anything outside of what's coming through these mics right now.
That was real interesting how that
dude
went off.
What
like
did I
that.
say?
Yeah.
I said if that thing goes off, we can't explain it.
Yeah.
Because we've been walking around with it all fucking night. And it's sitting in the spot that it's been sitting for most of the night, not doing anything.
And until tonight, we didn't even know that it was on by itself. Like, we thought you had to hold the button on the side of it for it to be active. And apparently you do not.
Apparently not, yeah.
And it'll squeal when something gets close to it. But yeah. Huh.
That was a little bit of activity right there, I feel.
Yeah, that was something. That was interesting. So.
I wish we knew. Man, I should text Ben and ask him what the name of the owners were.
Nah. Well, he said the one woman's name was Teresa.
I want to know the last name.
Oh.
And maybe it's not even... Do you know what? No, actually, that wouldn't even be useful. What I would want is the people that owned it before them.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that noise again.
That sounds like a mouse, though.
Could be.
Something.
Yep, I saw it run. Yeah. The glass sound is definitely the mouse for sure.
Yep. That's crazy these mics are picking that up.
Yeah, it is. So it's good we got that confirmed, though.
Yeah. Holy shit.
I like ruling stuff out.
But the mouse definitely did not set off the gauze meter.
Fuck no.
So
It also did not come anywhere near us. So even if it is a radioactive mouse, It's a Hulk mouse. Yeah, the microphone, nothing.
Nothing.
I
Strange.
can't explain that one, dude. I cannot explain that one. That's interesting.
Like, it's never done that, like, period.
Mm-mm.
Like, even all of our other investigations, and, like, we thought those were junk when we first got them.
Yeah.
Like, we were like, this is broke. They don't even work. Well, no, they work. There it goes.
It just went off again. Oh, my fucking God.
So if you're over here by us, you keep coming by this gray box. Can you come by it again? Turn the light off for a minute so we can see. No, all right, it's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you come by that, it'll make a noise to let us know you're over here with us. You've came by it a couple times. We've heard it go off.
There is also a microphone in front of that chair right there. If you want to sit down and talk with us,
Yep.
we can hear you on these headphones.
And it's weird that it went off after we were sitting there fucking, testing it in a way. Like,
Yeah.
trying to see if we could set it off.
If we could rule it out, yeah.
Nothing was setting it off. And as soon as we left it alone, it just... The furnace just went off, so it'll be really quiet in here now.
Yet again.
That's me. Do this.
Real quiet here.
So quiet.
Wow.
If you could come over here, though, to the table with us, if you got anything to say, we'll hear it. Yeah. And this gray box right here, if you come over by it again, it'll make a noise to let us know you're here.
You know, it really is too bad that Preston and Aaron didn't join us tonight. Because how fucking cool would it be if, like, we had two people
Down here, and two people upstairs, or
like
two people downstairs and two people right here. Or,
like, at some point, of course, we'd all four
yeah.
do the podcast. But then, like, at certain points in the podcast, two of us break off and go down to the basement for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
While the other two are still up here talking. Like, that'd be pretty cool dynamic, I think.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I'm going to turn this back on.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, so basically, we're like recording a podcast during a live investigation right now.
Yes.
I've definitely never heard this be done before.
So anything that we capture is going to be live.
Right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Now, we're not live on the internet because we don't have Wi-Fi, but...
But that little high-pitched whistle sound you keep hearing come up is our gauze meter going off, letting us know that there's some kind of EMF anomaly in the area around us.
Yep.
And we haven't been picking that up at all, but then all of a sudden, it'll just go off randomly when we're sitting here talking about different things. And the one time it went off, it got real cold around the table.
Let's see.
So we know that... I think that there is potentially something here, but I feel like it's one of those types of hauntings where it takes a couple months to get used to whoever's staying here. Then as it gets used to whoever's staying here, it'll start to show itself a little more and a little more and a little more. So
possibly. Yeah. I am curious as to how long it took for anything to start happening. For my friend and for the people, because the girl that he rented it from, she had some experiences. She said she like came out of the shower one day and went to the laundry room, and there was a black figure standing in the doorway of the laundry room, and she said, "We can both live here, just don't scare me." And then she never had a problem with it again. So I'm curious about, and that was not her only experience. So I'm just curious about how long, she was here and he was here before things started happening. Something I should have asked. Idiot. But hey, like, this is literally our first ever residential investigation, so these are all notes that we're taking for the future. And you know what, too? I might be able to set another one of these up if you're interested. I'd have to talk to them, but every single time I see my Aunt Sue and Uncle Mike, they're like, you need to come around and investigate our house. Because apparently there's something in their house, for sure. And these aren't, you know, these are normal people. These aren't ghost people, you know? Like, these aren't people that are especially into that sort of thing. But they've even gone as far to, like, do research. They think they figured out his name. Like, and they've seen him. Everyone that's lived in the house, my aunt, my uncle, and their three daughters, my three cousins, have all had experiences with it.
Huh. That could be interesting.
Yeah. So that might be something to think about too. And I think for another, if we fingers crossed, we do another, like, you know, one of our big ones, like at a big location this year. I'd like to do the Stinson Hospital. I think.
Stinson and Eden Rapids.
Yeah.
I'll be down.
Yeah.
But I want to
hold that microphone a little closer.
I want to see if we can get more people involved when we do go.
The only hard part with
Mouse
that,
is just having
he's
the
going
dinner
crazy.
of a lifetime. Over
Yeah,
here.
he is. The only hard part with that one is that that one has a admission price.
Well, no, but at the same time, like, I think between now and when we actually do it, if we told enough people, we'd
Probably
find
get a couple.
At least two.
At least
that would be down.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'd really like to check it. I heard that. I was like,
Which it could have been the mouse.
Could have been the mouse. Still, because it kind of came from that direction.
I have no idea what direction it came.
Yeah, that's a good point. Neither do I.
My headphones.
Huh.
All I know is I heard it. There it is again.
Oh, that was different.
That was a little different. That was the mouse. That was a car going by.
Huh. Mouse is having a fucking field day. That's hilarious. I'm going crazy over there.
Hit this button again.
Let's see. What would another one be though? Like, okay, so we do. Let's just say for shits and giggles, yeah, okay, we do this Stinson Hospital sometime this year. If we were to do something else, and I'm not even saying a big one like that, what would it be?
Isn't there a hospital down in Detroit that's doing them now, investigations now?
Yes. Well, the Eloise Asylum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Hit the light down.
Maybe he'll go home. Go away, little fuck.
As soon as we went dark, he came out hard.
Yeah, he did. Came out real hard. He's using silverware and shit.
You know?
He's cooking dinner over there.
It's like, I've had this place to myself for 2 months.
Yeah. What are you fucks doing here? Ain't no ghost bother me. Yeah, the Eloise Asylum. I think they're doing stuff. But I don't know. I kind of want, like, sitting here doing this. Because I don't know if any of those places would be cool with me bringing podcast equipment.
Oh no, probably not.
But then again, why not?
Because
how much did it cost?
It's a business.
How much did it cost? So this gives them more advertising. How much does it cost? How much did it cost to do the private investigation at Dundee?
$350.
All told?
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's way less than I thought.
Yeah. 10 people.
That would be
10 people, $35 a head.
Because then I could definitely bring the equipment if we had a private hunt.
Yeah.
Maybe we should look into how much if they have private hunts. Well, we know they do now at the Edson.
Well, I heard like
Edson.
the Stimson Hospital in Eden Rapids. I heard that some of the spirits in there can be pretty nasty.
Really?
I hear like it can be pretty active.
Who were we? Didn't we just? Oh yeah, we watched some video earlier where someone was like, "I wouldn't live in Eaton Rapids; it's too haunted." Yeah. Shout out to it's another Michigan Paranormal YouTube page. Shout out to Afterlife Road.
Yeah.
Check them out. They got a good channel, and they work with the MSU Paranormal Society, which is. I'm not even gonna lie. I knew about that since I went there. I had planned on going to a meeting, but I never did. Nope. Just going off again.
Can you come back over here, buy this box for us, and make it do those noises again? You've come over here a couple times, buy it. I think you're just like buzzing around the room, honestly.
Dude, no, it's every single time we start talking about other haunted places.
Just about.
Like every single time we get into a conversation about it, it goes off. That's weird.
I feel like it's just cruising around the room. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like fucking zoop, makes it go off and goes around the room. You know what I mean?
Or maybe it's building energy.
I don't know. Well, feel free to come over here to the table and make the box go off or say something into the mic.
Oh my God.
What?
Oh wait. No. Okay. Right? Yeah. Okay. I was just making sure I didn't have that third mic muted this whole time. But no, it's on. We heard.
Huh. It's one of the tough things about doing these paranormal investigations is the patience.
Yes. Well, you know.
If I was not the guy that I am today, if I was the Josh 10, 15 years ago, after 2 hours of what tonight would have been like, yeah, I'm going back to Lansing. Go play some fucking video games or something. Get stoned.
You know, it's funny. It's kind of because that's. I mean, you know, they do a great job making it look real exciting and entertaining on the TV shows and stuff like that.
Oh, do they?
But it's much like.
Don't believe nothing you see on TV. I'm gonna say that right now.
Fuck
everything you see on TV. Holy shit!
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't be further from the truth. I promise you.
Exactly.
And if you're questioning that, go watch any TV show that has flying, like people in an airplane, and then go get on an airplane. Then get on an airplane and tell me if any of that is anywhere near remote, like accurate. Because
not.
My God.
No. Yeah, no, I mean, and that's something too that I think I even discussed a little bit with Aaron. Like he was like,
I'm turning on the gauze meter.
I just tried to explain to him, like, you know, we've been to some pretty serious places and never once have we ever ran from anything or been super startled by anything, even though that's what it looks like happens a lot. And the other kicker about those shows is, you know, they give you as much as they can and they edit it together in a really fast and entertaining way.
Well, no, I think they're accurate when they say, all right, well, we spent 3 days in this location, and yeah, the amount of activity and the amount of evidence we got, we can edit it down to
yes,
30-minute episode, and then we got to put 30 minutes of B-roll and filler on it to kind of bring people in.
And that's the thing, is that it's most of what doing this is. Most of the time where you're going to find your evidence is after the fact when you're going through everything.
Yep.
Not even during. Like we could have caught shit tonight we don't even know we caught.
Absolutely.
Yet. So that's a very big part of it. It's kind of, you know, this is just because I fucking have experienced both things. So it's a lot like working in a band too. Like everybody's like, you know, it seems amazing. But 99% of even the day you're playing a show, you are sitting around waiting all day, doing nothing. Literally have nothing to do except until 20 minutes that night.
Sounds a lot like fishing.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a whole lot of waiting around and doing nothing until those few
Until
minutes
all of a
something crazy
sudden
happens.
you're fishing.
Yeah. You got something on the hook, or you're on stage, or whatever.
But
or you hear a voice on the recording.
Yeah, everything's usually pretty fleeting though. This guy needs to come back over here. Come to the box.
But yeah, I think that's a big misconception about doing what we're doing right now, is that we've done it a bunch of times. Never once have we had a jump scare.
No. Never a jump scare, really.
Like, I've had goosebumps, and I've had a couple of times where I've been a little nervous, but never anything else.
The Dundee Mill, when we first set up the investigation and we all split up, we had enough people where we had three groups of three, and there was a fourth person too that would tag along and bounce around with other groups. But we sent one group to the basement and gave them a bunch of motion sensors to set up, and recording equipment and the cameras and the whole nine, and sent them down to the basement. And they set up the motion sensors, and they as soon as they'd set the motion sensors up and walk away, they'd trip. Couldn't figure it out. And I mean, like, they'd set them up in a different area and walk away, and then they'd get tripped. Couldn't figure it out. And to this day, we still can't figure out what was causing those to go off like that, because, man,
I will never forget you and I.
We had walkie-talkies for that investigation. And I mean, a bunch of people who are not used to walkie-talkies, they don't really need them.
No.
Like, people get childish really quick. And
you and I are sitting upstairs alone in the quiet, like, waiting for something to happen.
all you hear is people. It's like World War III in the basement of this place. People are screaming, "Mayday, we need help!"
Alarms going on.
Alarms everywhere.
What the fuck is going on in the basement? We can't figure out what's happening. Over. Oh my god, that was so funny. We were just sitting up in the quiet. Downstairs is chaos. That was awesome. Oh, shit.
There's something cruising around here. I wish we had the IR camera set up.
You see something?
Don't you have like a still camera? For
No, but so that one's IR. Actually, hold on. Let's put this bad boy on real quick. I forget what this one even does. Can I see in the dark? No. Oh. No. What do I look like, though? Is it normal light? Yeah. Hold on. Let me see if I can find a menu on this thing. Because I felt like this thing.
I thought you had like a still camera that shot in.
No, I don't have any still cameras. That was a weird noise.
It was a really weird noise.
But this camera,
Because that was not a mouse,
is good for. I think I got that one to use with the lights. Where's one of the lights? You see it?
right there by the tripod.
Oh yeah. One of these IR lights, which honestly don't work as well as I wish they did. But yeah, I mean, I can see all the way into the other room. Oh wow, can you see that?
Yeah.
See all the way in there. It's actually not that bad.
Turn off the black light.
See, I'm not sure if the other one.
Turn one off, and okay, that one's one off. Then
I'm not sure if that one works though. We might need to replace the battery for that one.
oh, then don't worry about it. But that's like
Is that
black
just
light.
the black light?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. UV. Oh yeah. Weird. Huh. So yeah, it probably wouldn't help us see anything floating around.
Nah.
Bummer. I just need a better IR camera. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. Shit.
Need to get one of those eventually.
In about 10 weeks. We can think about that.
Yeah, because the one I have, like, the only time I used it was at Randolph. I got a lot of this shit right before we went to Randolph.
Yep.
And you see how long that battery just lasted. The other battery wouldn't even turn on.
All right.
So the batteries are just shitty.
Well, I feel like,
Yeah,
the batteries might be
camera,
shitty.
if that.
Yeah, we could still get quality batteries for it, but it's weird. Like, I used it a lot more at Randolph than we have here, and
That's
it
true.
died a lot faster here.
But also hasn't been used in 2 years, so the batteries might have degraded.
Probably.
Because I think that's about how long it's been since we've been to Randolph.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
2 years since we did an investigation.
That's fucked up. We're slacking.
We are.
We did do the Haunted Saginaw premiere in between then, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was cool. We were in a haunted location at least.
At least.
But yeah, we got to do that. We got to do that this year because he'll be bigger than ever with the new TV show on Travel Channel, Hauntings in the Heartland. People check that out.
We'll see if he even does another movie this year.
Oh yeah, he said he's gonna.
Well, he's got to do part 2 to the one he just did this year.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably what it'll be. That's
All right.
probably why he split it into 2 parts because he knew that he'd have to film the Travel Channel thing.
Yeah.
But he would have already filmed that earlier this year. Actually, I know he did because he was posting it on Instagram. Yeah. Shout out to Prozac, Steve Shippey,
Turn the gauze meter back on.
and the Haunted Saginaw crew. If you're a fan of this sort of thing and you want to watch some good ass like documentary style movies, Amazon Prime, Haunted Saginaw. There's 10 films, and they're all excellent.
Excellent.
Some of the best evidence I've ever seen caught on film, and I do not think they're faking it. Because in the beginning, for those first 10 movies, they like didn't make a dick. Like, because they didn't chart, they're free on Amazon Prime. So they just got paid one lump sum for that, whatever it was, probably not a lot. Or they didn't, and they just uploaded them to Prime. And fucking, so yeah, really all the money they probably made was off the 2-day, 1-weekend premieres they had.
Yep.
And that's, 2 theater fulls, that's something, but fucking, that's not enough to fund an entire crew in a year-long investigation, put it that way. Like, so they weren't making, they're not faking shit to make money and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So when I see like people trying to do something cool and put it together nice and do all that, and they're like, we're going to give it away for free, then like, why would you fucking fake it then? I don't get it. To get people to watch, I guess, but I don't know. It didn't get that big.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, we had to tell everyone we knew about it. Nobody else knew about it. And we know people that love this shit, so. And
Ben's girlfriend knew about it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was crazy.
The only fucking... I just stumbled on it one night. I was just looking around on Amazon Prime, and I saw something that said Haunted Saginaw, and I was like, no way that's Saginaw, Michigan. And it said Michigan. I was like, oh, well, I'll check it out. Led me down the rabbit hole. Excellent ones. Well, shit, you know what? We've been going here for about an hour. If you want to pause this and maybe come back to it a little later or something, try a couple EVP sessions or
I'm down with that.
Walk around a little bit. All right, we will probably be back again later.
And 3, 2, 1, roll the tape. We're talking, and let's go.
Action now. All right, so yeah, we are back here. It is now about 11:15. It's been about, I think, 3 hours since we're back on. In that time, not a whole lot's been going on.
No.
Not.
Absolutely not.
We had the gauze meter going off on the podcast, and a little bit after we turned off the mic. It kept going off a little bit more, but since then has not gone back off hard. Maybe
At
one
all.
other time.
No.
No? All right.
Not even. I've been even sitting here like pushing it to like.
Yeah.
I dare you. I dare you.
Yeah. I thought I heard a couple little noises here and there. I went downstairs to the basement I did an EVP session. I left a camera set up, like an X cam, for like an hour, pointed down like the fucking creepy parts. So we'll have to review that later. We'll see if we caught anything on those.
Full spectrum cameras.
Yeah, full spectrum camera with IR lights and UV lights attached to it. And right now, it's actually upstairs recording in the attic, so we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I don't know. It's been a pretty quiet night here.
I feel like this is one of those where we should, if we had the chance or the time, we would set up for a weekend and just hang out.
Yeah.
You know, do intermittent investigating in between, you know, just living, and see if that, you know, brings it out more, you know, if it thought we were actual residents here.
Yeah, it like Ben said, he doesn't think it likes change, and there was some renovations going on to the house, and then he moved in a little while later, and that could all definitely stir something up.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so like, yeah, if we were here for more than just a night, then maybe we'd think something else is going on. Hard to say, though. Hard to say. It's just interesting that it's so inactive.
If anybody's looking to rent a haunted house, though, I mean, it might be haunted.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
We might be able to hook you up.
Absolutely. It should be available February 1st.
Basically. Yeah, not a whole lot of creepy feelings, creepy vibes. I haven't felt like I've been watched very much at all.
No.
And like we were just talking about before we turn on the mics, that's in no way, just because nothing happens to us, in no way, like, we're not trying to discredit anything that we think people have told us has gone on here.
There hasn't even been anything to debunk for us here.
Yeah.
Like, so, you know.
And we will try.
And all I can say, too, is, like, the two people who lived here who let us in to do this, they both were visibly shooken to be here and did not want to be here at all.
Exactly. And yeah, like we said before, like we didn't have a whole lot of paranormal experience at the Randolph Asylum, but at the same time, thousands of other people have. So,
but we at least caught like EVPs there. Like I heard things with my own ears there. Like we caught some orbs on camera, like still photos and on video.
Mm-hmm. And we have heard a couple weird things here tonight, but nothing too crazy.
Nothing that couldn't be explained by a little mouse.
Yeah. Oh, except for the thing we just heard in the hallway.
That was interesting. That was
it sounded like something being peeled, something sticky being
different.
peeled.
That was different.
It's kind of weird. I couldn't explain that one. And we can't explain the gauze meter. We don't know how that could be going off when it was.
Wonder. Maybe the battery's dying. I don't know.
I don't know if it's a fresh battery, actually.
Yeah, I don't think it is. But, whatever. It's working right now, so I mean. But yeah. So we figured we'd turn the lights back off and finish up this podcast and see if anything else wants to come out.
Mm-hmm. Sitting here in the dark. As we do on these ghost hunts. Most of what it is sitting in the dark and trying to be quiet.
I mean, usually, like, I don't think we've ever been on a location and didn't get an EVP.
I don't remember if we got anything at the Edson, but I also don't remember if we had any equipment.
Well, remember when we did that big group thing where they brought everybody together in that one, they call it the war room or whatever?
Yep. I do remember that.
That, we had some fucking EMF spikes and stuff like that.
There was some activity.
Time, but other than that, yeah, no EMF, like no EVPs. And Nothing crazy. What was crazy was the story of how when the two towers got hit on 9/11, the Edison was parked at a museum in New York in the Bay, and they used that war room on that boat
Oh yeah.
for everything that went down after 9/11. So the president was there, like the generals were all on, like everybody was on that boat.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is fucking. I forgot about that actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, the Edson was at least a good time hanging out on an old battleship and getting free roam.
That's yeah. That's worth price of admission, ghosts or no ghosts. Like just here, you pay this ticket, and then you can just go run around on a battleship and
All night long.
go down every manhole cover, through every door. Nothing is off limits. You can go see whatever you want to see,
And it's all still there.
Everything. That is sick. That is a good time. Yeah, that's definitely fun. That's a good one to do. And it's not that expensive.
No.
It's actually really reasonably priced. It's like $45 if you want to stay till 3 a.m. or $70 all night. So I think that's put on by the Michigan Paranormal Society or something like that.
I think it's
Find them
Bay
on
City
Facebook.
I thought, but also, yeah, you can sleep in a bunk there now and stay
Yeah,
overnight.
stay overnight for $70. Yeah. Not bad at all.
Nope.
At all. They only usually do them during the summertime, though.
No, they just did their first one though.
What?
They just did one. They just had their first one for 2020.
Oh. I thought the post I saw earlier said the first one's in March or May or something.
Maybe.
I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's a good location for sure. And you remember how like before we got there, their fucking like siren went off for no reason?
Oh yeah.
That was crazy. They told us about that when we got there. We're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, before everybody started showing up.
Shit was happening.
There's that submarine that you can stay on and do that paranormal investigation over in Muskegon, ain't it?
What?
Yeah, there's like a fucking an old sub over there, I thought.
I've not heard of this. I don't know.
Really?
Really?
All right.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, maybe not.
I don't know if there's anything. If it's a modern day vessel, it might be all right. But
if it's an old one, it's gonna be too small.
If it's an old one, it's gonna suck.
It's made for people that are half our size.
Half our size, and back then they just didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
So
Not a lot of safety regulation.
I was on that U-boat they got down in Chicago.
Yeah, at the museum.
And holy shit, like you can walk through it and just you can still smell it. You know what I mean? Like you can still smell the smell of all those fucking dudes down there for months on end, and the oil and the grease and the gas, and like that shit is just ingrained in it. You know what I mean?
Into the steel.
Oh god. They said it'd be hot in there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you imagine you're underwater, they probably ain't got no air conditioning going on that thing.
Mm-mm.
They said it'd be really hot, and then they had, like, in that one sub, they had something like 60 people.
Oh my god.
And they would do shifts. You would share a cot with like 3 or 4 other dudes, and you would run shifts, and you'd wake up the dude that you had to wake up, and then you get to sleep for a little, and the next dude would wake you up to go back on shift. And it was just a constant sleeping in somebody else's sweaty fucking bed sheets.
Ugh.
Such a good time.
That sounds terrible. Was walking around in it cool though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was, like I said, so small.
Yeah.
So tight. Just didn't even make sense.
That's crazy.
They said that when they captured that U-boat, the crew was already gone.
Damn. The fuck? Where'd they go? No one knows.
No one knows. Literally. So.
That's wild. That's wild. You know, one thing I don't think we talked about on here yet is that you and I went to go see Robert the Doll together. Like, we have been in the presence of Robert the Doll down at its home in Key West, Florida. Pretty interesting.
It was. The most interesting part was that the curse that you're supposed to get if you tried taking a picture of yourself with Robert the Doll without permission. So a friend of ours thought he was hip, snapped a picture, a selfie of himself with the doll. And then that evening at our fucking rental house, shit, lights were going on and off. Fucking, they said a bag slid across the table and fell to the floor.
Really?
Yeah, Jeremy and Tyler both said that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. They didn't want to, I was kind of like, why didn't you say something sooner? Like, well, we didn't really think nothing of it at the time until you just told us all that, and then we were like, oh, shit. So, but yeah.
That's crazy.
So that was interesting. A lot of ghosts in Key West.
Definitely.
Lots.
It's the island of bones.
Yep.
Definitely. Yeah, we went and saw it. It was, yeah. It's in this little museum. Really cool little area. It's like set up like a little fort. It's probably what it was.
It was. It was an old fort.
Yeah.
Turned into a museum.
That's pretty cool. I dig shit like that. Is that thing on? Make sure that thing is on.
If it doesn't have any fucking activity, it goes off.
Yeah.
So I try to keep an eye on it. But yeah. I don't know. I think this summer is going to be the summer of investigations and
this summer to do
traveling things. And yeah. I'm going to try and make it a thing to get away as much as possible.
Hell yeah. Not a bad plan.
No. So we need to do more things like that. I mean, the only way we're ever going to come across some of this stuff that we're looking for is if we just do as many of these as we can.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the cool parts about going to some of the bigger ones is literally every single time except for one time, we ended up meeting and talking to people who pointed us in the direction of the next one.
Yep.
So, yeah. You get on it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's always good to go to those for sure. But I definitely look forward to doing more. And it'd be sweet, you know what I mean, to do more like this too. Even though, tonight's a little less than eventful.
A little bit.
That's okay.
Yeah, it was still worth it.
Absolutely.
Still worth it. But, I think if you're going to try to do residentials, try to do residentials where you'll have access to them over an extended period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Places that you can get into, stay the night overnight, you know what I'm saying? Like, and just really become part of the house and see it, in its entirety.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that would be.
I think that's the only way.
Yeah.
So.
Unless shit's just going crazy in the house,
Well, I mean,
but yeah.
What's weird is I feel like the more severe it is, the less people talk about it. Which is weird.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't know, they don't want to be shunned. They don't want, you know what I mean? And I don't understand all of that, but hey, it is what it is.
I don't either. Because if shit was going off, I'd be telling everyone and filming
Hell
everything.
yeah.
Like,
100%.
Nothing's holding me back. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
Pretty calm, pretty quiet.
Right now it is. That's for sure. I don't see anything going on. Looking around.
Mm.
Everything just seems normal. Really quiet.
We will be leaving soon. This is your final chance. You can come on over. You can talk right into these microphones we are holding in our hands.
You can come on over and sit right next to me.
Yep.
Have a grand old time.
So, yeah.
Tell us about what this house was like.
That'd be interesting.
Long time ago.
That'd be really interesting.
Wouldn't that be crazy if we just started hearing a voice? In 1925, this land was purchased.
I mean, maybe he just sounds like a normal person, though, and he's like, my name was Tom, and I farmed this land for 45 years and raised my family here, and you know what I mean? Who knows?
It'd be so crazy.
Maybe someday in the future they'll have a method of doing something like that.
Yeah.
Like, what was that?
Okay.
In Hellboy, when he went into the cemetery and pulled that corpse out of the grave and resurrected it.
Oh, yeah.
And carried it around for the rest of the movie.
That was a pretty weird movie.
Yeah. Ron Perlman.
Oh, wait. That one?
It was the second one. The second Hellboy.
With Ron Perlman?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that.
What do you mean?
I saw it, but I only saw it once.
Oh.
I've seen the first one a few more times, though. Okay, here's a question for you. Neither of us are religious. So, what the fuck do we think ghosts even are? Like, what do you think a ghost is?
Energy.
Of what? Like, human energy? What?
Could be. I mean, spirits could... Depends on the spirit, just like, people. You know what I mean? But, like, there's a lot of different theories and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? I don't think all spirits are human spirits. That's one way to put it. Yeah. I've heard theories from different people on different things, and some of it I, listen to, and others I tend not to. So.
Well, what's the ones you kind of listen to? Like, what do you kind of prescribe to? I guess. Like, what? Like, because I'm okay. I don't. Yeah, I don't know. At the end of the day, but there are certain things, like you said, that I kind of lean more towards. Like, that seems most likely to me, given the current evidence at the moment, sort of a thing. So, what do you lean towards in terms of that?
Well, there was that book a lady wrote about her son who intentionally killed himself just to prove that he could communicate from the other side. And his mom, that's what he did. He, went out into the woods, wrote a whole big, huge, long letter, then hung himself from a tree, and they found him and everything, and then he began to communicate with his mom.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So.
That's really fucked up.
Dude, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think, like I said, different spirits or different energies, and yeah, I don't know what makes up the whatever, but I don't know. I've heard a lot of different stuff.
Me too. I've heard many different theories.
Yeah. So, and some of the theories I've heard are from religious people. Some of them are from non-religious people. All of them hold water in their own way. So,
for me, for me, in terms of these big, like, more like, I don't know, like existential fucking questions, it makes sense to me that we do have some sort of. It seems possible to me that there is an energy in us and everything, but that energy from something like us, like a sentient being, for lack of a better term, it's the separation of the mind and body.
Yeah.
I think that exists. We just don't have the tools to know how to measure it yet.
Oh yeah.
And I think that is a part of something that's throughout the entire universe. I think because in terms of all those kind of fucking things, the thing that I keep coming back to, because it seems to make the most sense to me, and not only explaining, I don't know. To me, it explains a lot of different aspects of a lot of different things, and it's like the collective consciousness theory or the global consciousness, but I think it's more of a universal consciousness. Like that one fucking guy in like Pennsylvania or whatever. Remember, he would fucking go into a trance and go somewhere, and people would ask him questions. It would always be right, and he had to stop doing it because he got sick.
Oh.
You know who I'm talking about?
Edgar Casey.
Casey, yep. When he described what he did, A, he said anybody could do it. I'm not special. And B, he described it as leaving his body, going up into space, out into space, and coming to this thing, this
source,
consciousness, this energy.
He called it
the source. Yeah, I think he was talking to the unconscious, the collective consciousness.
I mean,
that's my theory.
Let's look at the other facts to that. Like, he was so renowned and well known and good at whatever the fuck it was he was doing that presidents wanted to see him. Mm-hmm. Fucking, famous people, like people that of power wanted to talk to him.
Yep.
And have him do what he did for them.
And he was right here in the United States in the 1900s.
Yeah.
Like, that's the crazy part.
So there's got to be some kind of validity there. I mean.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I think then that could. So if there's this energy that's like that, if it exists, it's all around us, probably at all times. Then maybe that could be where spirits come from, and ghosts come from. It's that, I don't know. So because right now, just the idea of someone like dying and then there being a ghost there in that haunting that same location, well, that doesn't exactly make sense because we're on a spinning Earth moving through space. So that ghost would have to kind of like.
I think though, it's
if you're a ghost, you're not bound by that.
I think it's everything around though that absorbs the energy. The foundation,
too. Yeah,
like
I
the
think
stone,
there are different kinds of hauntings. There are intelligent hauntings, and then there are just energy hauntings. Yeah, like imprints of time. Where you see like someone in an old-fashioned cowboy costume in a saloon, like walk by the doorway every night at 3 a.m. or something like that, and he just tips his hat and keeps walking. Like that's just like a time imprint haunting. See that right there, like that. That's something we should be able to explain by now, I feel. Like that is.
You just did.
Yeah, but like with we should be able to measure it with instruments and scientifically and all that stuff.
Measure what?
That however that happens, like what is that? Is it an issue where we're not understanding time and like that it does weird stuff in certain locations sometimes like that? Or so does it have to do, are we literally seeing something in the past, or are we seeing something in the present that's just imprinted there somehow? And how can we figure that out? How can we measure that? What does that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what does that? That's something. That's the kind of thing I feel enough people. Like, that's the kind of thing where, like, there have been cases where it's literally every night at 3 a.m. kind of shit. And the same thing happens every time. And everyone has seen it. You know, it's 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Scientists have studied some of this shit, I've heard of cases like that where they're like, no, every night this happens. So people have come and looked at it. Kind of like the Paulding light.
Yeah.
But more like a ghost. And yeah, like I feel like that's something that could be a place to start.
Yeah.
You unravel that mystery, you might get the answer, or at least part of an answer, to whatever else is going on. So if you can figure out how energy can be imprinted in an area like that, that's interesting.
I'm sure there's people working on it.
Did you ever see the show? Have you ever heard of the show Through the Wormhole with Morgan Freeman?
Yeah.
Dude, that show had some fucking episodes. Like he had an episode about the global consciousness theory, and they were able to base it, like they were able to measure it on some level, and that like there's this one guy, like the scientist working at universities, did this big giant study, put these like sensors in different locations all over the fucking earth,
Right.
and they were all feeding him this information, and like the crazy, but like they had all this stuff was running during 9/11 when 9/11 happened, and it showed this like crazy spike. But the interesting part about it was like it was almost predetermined. Like it started spiking, and peaked when 9/11 happened, and then dropped off.
Huh.
It wasn't just a sharp up and down
Right.
when it happened. It was a gradual climb up. So that means, like, I don't know. I have no idea what that means.
Right.
But yeah, there was that one. There was like, it's been a long time since I've seen the episode, but there was another one where they had two people. They created an electromagnetic field around these two rooms, like a very specific electromagnetic field. And they put a person in each room. Completely black room. One person was occasionally had a light flashed at him, but the other one didn't. And whenever they saw the light flash, they had a little button to press. All right. When they weren't, or no, yeah. So they're in the fucking electromagnetic field. They're in these two rooms. Only one person's being shown the light. After like the first light being shown, they both started clicking the clickers at the exact same time. Like they both started seeing the lights at the same time, even though only one was being flashed at. So they were like, one person was essentially seeing through the other person's eyes. If you're able to connect like that because of a specific electromagnetic field, the entire Earth is an electromagnetic field, and there's 7 billion of us.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I need to rewatch that and refresh what the fuck they were talking about because it was fascinating. It's an old episode now. It's from like shit, I don't even know, long time ago. That was a great show. But yeah, well shit. Got anything else? Any other ghost stories you want to talk about?
No.
No? All right. Well, I guess we will wrap this one up, everyone. Thank you very much for listening to our fucking live ghost hunt. This was a lot of fun either way, so hopefully we get to do another one of these again someday in the future.
And bring you guys with us.
Yeah, right? I would have been doing a lot more updating on Instagram, but I tried, but we have so little service out here, it won't upload. So that kind of got fucked. But in any case, we'll be back again very soon this week with more episodes. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this one. This was a lot of fucking fun. And hopefully we'll be, I'll go through everything, and if I find any evidence anywhere at all, I'll be sure to post it so everybody can check it out. Yeah, but thank you all. Thank you all for listening. Raise your horns, bang your heads. We love you all to death. Good night.